G'day mates, in today's video we're going to start the hype train for chapter 3 season 2. We have a bunch of new information to go across. Looks like the tac shotgun's coming back, a new mythic AR. We have vehicle modding where you can add armor and turrets to vehicles. We have new gadgets coming out which we don't even know what those are yet. We have new mechanics like tactical, sprint, and fear. There's a lot coming out and I want to start off talking about what is even happening with the new season. Is it delayed? Why is Epic saying anything before we jump into those leaks? So it's a stacked video. Season 2 is right around the corner. Let's start getting excited. Let's jump into it. Before I get into all the juicy stuff like the tac shotgun coming back, the new mythics, the crazy new vehicles, I want to talk about why you probably haven't seen any leaks in game right now and why there's very little hype for the new season. There's a few theories around this. A lot of people are actually scared the season is going to be delayed, but I want to let you know that according to leakers and according to everything through Epic Games, it looks like the new season will be beginning on time this Sunday on the 20th. And I know that's a Sunday. Most of the updates usually start later in the week on a Tuesday, but you got to remember Chapter 3 Season 1 also start on a Sunday. So that's not unheard of. The reason why we are so sure it's going to be Sunday is because the battle pass since the start of this season has been set to end on the 19th, and that is when we have the console champions cup final. So the new season is not going to start on the 19th. The battle pass is going to end and the new season is going to start on the 20th, most likely at 4 a.m. EST, the usual update time. This is still going ahead, so don't panic just because Fortnite hasn't been posting things. The season has been delayed. It looks like it's going ahead on time. The main reason why there hasn't been as much hype and the theory that I think there is after Chapter 3 Season 1 with basically everything being leaked. If you guys don't remember, Fortnite Poland on their official channels leaked the gameplay trailer, so pretty much everyone knew coming in what was going on. We had the Battle Pass trailer leaks, we had leakers going crazy. I think Epic has really tightened down and tuned up on the leaking. They clearly were not happy on how everything got revealed for Chapter 3. If you guys remember, leakers were even being threatened with legal action and even gave advice to Epic on how to stop future leaking. So I believe that is why we have very little information about the new season, and some people love that. A lot of you guys always saying you actually happy there's less leaks coming out and you know less coming into the new season, so you jump on and it's super hyped. I fully expect that over the next few days and maybe even a couple hours after this video releases, Epic will start dropping some crazy new leaks out there. Just know that if they don't, I still think, and I'm going to convince you in this video with all the cool stuff that we already know, that Chapter 3 Season 2 is going to be a high effort season. You guys know I wasn't the biggest fan of Chapter 3 Season 1 myself playing. I just wasn't a meta that I particularly enjoyed, but I'm not going to fault Epic. They put so much effort into this season. They put a lot of time into it. A lot of people, casuals, content creators, and some pros really enjoyed it. So I'm excited. I'm hyped. I know that Chapter 3 Season 2 will be a high effort season. The fact that it's kind of, you know, basing around this whole war means there's going to be some awesome new features like these new gadgets that look like they're coming out, these new vehicles that looks like you might have armored turreted vehicles. We have the tac shotgun potentially coming back. There's a lot I'm going to talk about in this video that has me excited. So just because there's not a lot of hype around the new season now, just know it is still looking like a fantastic season. I think it's a deliberate choice from Epic to keep all the leaks and keep all the rumors on the low, so when the new season launches, it's maximum hype. All right, let's start talking about what we do know coming into season 2 and what some of the leaks are to get you guys excited. Now, let's break it up into sections. Let's start off talking about weapons, because this is usually the most exciting thing coming into a new season. What's going to be the meta? What weapons are coming back? What weapons are going to be new? First off, the tactical shotgun. These kind of rumors first started off with Cypher PK and other creators making content around the observation that the striker pump shotgun is just the tac shotgun missing the attachments. And if you look at this image here, it fits perfectly. This is the tac shotgun missing attachments, but that could be Epic just reskinning it, and I don't want to say saving money or effort making a new shotgun, but you never know. That doesn't really mean we're going to get a tac shotgun, but I thought it was really cool. But when you add it to this image, which is one of the new loading screens that has the foundation holding a tac shotgun, this is a new loading image. This is not from any other season. This is not from Chapter 1. This is a Chapter 3 loading screen of a tactical shotgun. It is very rare that Epic puts weapons that are not in current seasons in the loading screens revolving around those current seasons. So there is a very good chance we are going to get the tac shotgun back in Chapter 3 Season 2. I personally would love this. In my wishlist video, which is coming out, I promise you is coming out tomorrow night, that is where I'm talking about my ideal shotgun meta and sneak peek, striker pump, tac, charge. I would absolutely love that meta. So I'm very excited to see the tac shotgun could be coming back. This one you probably saw, it's gotten a lot of attention. Hypex made a tweet about it. The Mythic Thermal AR. He leaked it a month ago and it's still coming for Season 2. The normal ARs have been buffed to become fully automatic. The Mythic one too. It does 39 body/build damage and 78 headshot, has a clip size of 15, reload time of 2 seconds, and a fire rate of 1.8. Look at the amount of damage this thing does. I was not a huge fan of the thermal ARs. A lot of the times the thermal weapons for me, just they seem a bit gimmicky. They don't really seem worth it. Even when I go back and watch Chapter 1, people like Tfue shredding with them, I feel like with first shot accuracy, a lot of ARs and how good people's aim are these days, it isn't really worth it. Excuse me. But this Mythic AR, I mean, it looks kind of crazy. It looks fun. It looks very strong though. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how this one affects competitive. It goes into competitive because that is going to be an absolute surge machine. Next up, one that I am so unbelievably not excited for. Hypex tweeting out C4s might make a return this season in pubs, but this time their damage will be multiplied by 8 when thrown at vehicles, which is 500 damage to vehicles only. I'm going to talk about why they might make such a significant change to an item towards vehicles in a second, when I talk about some of the ridiculous new vehicles that look like they're coming to Fortnite. The fact that it's only in pubs, and I don't understand how Hypex knows it's only going to go into pubs, makes me a lot more excited. C4 in competitive would be absolutely terrible. The reason why I'm concerned though is I don't think C4 is that fun of an item. I talk all the time about adding the fun, crazy stuff to pubs, and I still stand by that, but a lot of explosives like this that are just completely spammable, I don't think a lot of people enjoy them. I could be wrong again, but I feel like fighting people with C4, every time you build up, like maybe that's a way of combating the sweats who try to overbuild, but for me, it always feels a little bit spammy. But looks like C4 are going to be coming back to the game. Last up, I want to talk about the Mythic Kingsman Umbrella, which is coming next season. This actually shows some gameplay of the umbrella, but it's just like the umbrella you remember before, the Kingsman, where you put it up, it blocks the bullets, and then you can kind of use it like the lightsaber. It's like one of those melee type weapons. I don't imagine this will make it into competitive. And again, one of not my favorite mythics. It's kind of cool, it's kind of quirky, but I didn't find it incredibly strong. And I think a lot of people got annoyed that people could just stand there and block bullets. But it is one of those items that I can fully see belongs in pubs for a bit of fun and a bit of change of pace. So those are the main item changes we have coming out. There's been some other random ones leaked out there, like some new med items that instantly heal you and the people around you. There's ones that heal you up, and then also I am going to talk about a new overshield feature later in the video, but those are the main items that have a good amount of evidence behind them right now. It would make sense that with a season revolving around war, you need powerful vehicles that are going to partake in this war. And it looks like we have 2 ones that are going to be added, and potentially this could be the vehicle modding that we've heard about for a really, really long time being added to the game. First up is these mounted turret cars. So it looks like we're going to have vehicles that now have turrets mounted on the back of them. Again, I imagine this is only going to go into public matches. We have a few instances of leaks about this. Hypex has been talking about it for quite a while now, since early this year, saying Epic are working on more vehicle mods again. Today they added a new mod that, from my understanding, attaches to the body of the vehicle, probably armor, and also we know that we're getting a turret vehicle next season. There could be a mod too. It would make sense if they've added vehicle modding, and I don't think this is a big stretch. You throw chonker tires on a car, it gets the big tires. What if you throw armored walls on a car, and then it gets armored walls, and then you throw a turret on the car, and then it gets a turret? This would make sense to make a very, very simple, easy to understand way to mod out vehicles. I want to see how it affects the game, because a chonker wheel armored tank with a turret sounds quite concerning, but I imagine if it's only in pubs, it'll be a bit of fun. It could be annoying, but it could be kind of cool too, like anything that we talk about here. We also have information coming from Tabor Hill, which you guys know Tabor Hill is like always right on his predictions and on his leaks. This guy definitely either gets told something from Epic deliberately, or he has someone on the inside, because this man just predicts everything every time. Also backing up the turret argument here, so I feel pretty confident on that one. Next up is like a Zeppelin or like a blimp style vehicle. This one was leaked a while ago, and now just today we have a brand new leak from Hypex talking about, again from Tabor, teased a drivable battle bus with turrets for season 2, and Epic are working on a black battle bus with red lights back in season 7, IO battle bus. So I'm putting 2 and 2 together here and saying, if we've had a lot of leaks building up about a Zeppelin and a flying blimp with turrets and weapons on it, and then now we have a drivable IO battle bus that has weapons, maybe that's linked to the same thing. Maybe in the game files that was picked up as the same thing, which I have no idea how that's going to function. That could just be an LTM. I don't know about getting a giant vehicle and driving it over the map and shooting down at players. Would be something cool for an LTM, but I don't know if it'll go into the actual game. But both of these sound pretty cool. On top of vehicle modding, something we've talked about coming to Fortnite for a really long time is weapon modding, and I've actually said that I don't think this would be a great addition to the game. Fortnite is already such a complex game when it comes to like the mechanics of editing and building, and one of the best things about it, especially for new players, is the simplicity of the weapons. It's just, you know which weapon you like the SMG or the AR, and then if it's green, it's better than gray, if it's blue, it's better than gray, and up you go, and it's really, really easy to understand. If they add a whole bunch of weapon modding, this is just going to get very confusing and make that skill gap and that ability to get into the game really, really hard for new players. If any of you have tried to play a game like Apex Legends or a Battle Royale with lots and lots of attachments and weapon types, it's quite overwhelming. But again, those games are quite simple once you get the weapons down. Fortnite is already complicated once you get into the game. You don't need to make the entry of how the weapons work any more complicated. But this could be a different way of looking at it. It could be gadgets. So Season 2 leak. This was for Season 1, but the workshop and gadgets were delayed. The 7 have made their imprint across the island, but it's clear that survival was on their mind due to the size and scale of the 7 village sanctuary and the crazy gadgets seen at the workshop. And we actually never had the workshop added to the game. I think this could be a lot cooler. This could be playing around with the idea of crafting. Even though crafting was a bit complicated at the start, towards the end it made sense, but we've never seen a good, in my opinion, use of crafting and side grading, because the way they always choose to make the weapons and what you craft and side grade never really has a huge impact. I feel like the biggest one was the bows. Crafting the mechanical bow so you could one-shot headshot versus the primal bow was one of the biggest actual like impacts of crafting we ever really saw. When it came to side grading, most of the weapons you side graded kind of sucked. Like you wouldn't side grade no one was side grading the pump into a charge, or very, very few people were, so it didn't really have much impact. But if we have a very well balanced shotgun meta, which again I'll talk about in tomorrow's video, side grading and kind of gadgets could be very cool. I don't really get how the gadgets aspect could work. They'd have to keep this pretty simple, because even crafting that I think was very, very basic, it confused a lot of people for a very long time. I was making a lot of guide content around it. I was streaming those updates. People really didn't understand how the crafting worked, and it confused them and it annoyed them. It didn't excite them to jump in and figure out how it all worked. They just thought it was too complicated on top of a game that already is quite complicated, and I fully understand that. So Epic's got to be careful if they play around with this gadgets idea. Maybe it's something where, like, I don't know, like it gives your feet a pepper effect if you press a button. Like, I don't know how gadgets are going to work, but keep it nice and simple based on existing mechanics in the game. Don't try to go too crazy and all out, because that is pretty much going to completely alienate the new players to the game. And as much as, again, I'm someone who plays this game a lot, I love a really, really deep skill ceiling of a game. There is a point where you need to still cater for new players, otherwise the game doesn't get anyone coming and trying it out. Gadgets and potentially weapon modding aren't the only new feature coming to potentially Chapter 3 Season 2. We have a few we're going to talk about. We're talking about this new fear mechanic, and we don't really have almost any information on this one, so I'll give you a heads up on that. iFireMonkey tweeted out a new gameplay effect has been added called Fear, which when used will apply fear to a player. We don't really know what that means. And I mean, you can use your imagination to figure it out. Maybe it makes you scared and you like tremble and you can't move, or maybe it makes you run around in circles. Like, I don't know. I don't know what fear is going to do, but I thought I should mention in here, there is going to be a new mechanic of fear, and it's going to make you fear things. You think about it. Let me know in the comments maybe what you think that might actually be. Also, we have new smart builds. I've talked about this plenty in the past. It looks like there's going to be what is almost inbuilt macros in the game, where you press one button and it builds structures. I've talked about this as a good way to combat a lot of that, you know, frustration I was just talking about for new players getting into the game and things being quite confusing. Being able to do one button builds would help players a lot. I have to imagine there's going to be a crazy delay on this, so it's not something that's super broken to do. You can't just build like infinite 1x1s and they're the speed of light. There's going to be some kind of a downside to this, I imagine. Otherwise, Epic has just added macroing to their game through the settings, and I don't think they're stupid enough to do that. So I'm excited to see what they do with this one. Tactical sprint, we've talked about this one a lot in the past as well. This would be like along the lines of Call of Duty games, where you kind of double sprint and you get an extra boost for a short period of time. It makes your screen shake, and there's some kind of an FOV animation change. Could be interesting to see how this one affects the game. We've talked about this, especially with phasing into builds. If you tactically sprint, rise, you hit a wall, you're going to have a much higher chance chance of breaking through like it is when you slide, or like it is when you push off a cone, or when you ramp boost through a stair. It could just make phasing through builds a lot easier. And when you already have a very spray and rush heavy meta like the SMG, combo those two together and people are a little bit scared. But again, I was opposed to sprinting at the start. I was a little bit scared, and Epic implemented it flawlessly. So I trust them here on this one, and we'll have to see how it plays out. The last one, which is kind of confusing, but I'm really excited for, is overshield. I don't know if you guys have seen the concept of overshield. This is kind of like from other games that have it. The idea that you could preload more shield onto yourself so that when you take the next fight, you have bonus shield. I know that sounds strange, because why would you not just have extra shield? But it could be specific items that apply this. It only lasts for a short amount of time, and I'm not, again, completely opposed to this idea. It could be interesting. One of the great things about Fortnite is knowing that your opponent is going to be 200 health or less, and quite often you know exactly how much they're going to be on and how much damage you've done. You hit them for 50, you crack them, okay, they had 50 or less. Now I know they have 100 or less health. Overshield's going to maybe confuse that a little bit and complicate it. I hope there's some kind of a visual cue to this for your enemy, not just for you. Like when you see someone with overshield, they're glowing bright green, so you know they have an overshield, and it might make you play differently. I think you need to give this information to opponents rather than just having only the player know. But again, I'm not completely against the idea. It could be a cool item, especially tied in with a mythic, or maybe tied in with these gadgets. Maybe it's a gadget that gives you overshield. You start to paint the picture of what could be a fun new feature to the game, but could also be very frustrating. And that's it. That's all the major changes we know coming into Season 2. There was some other bits and pieces, like I said, some new heal items, but I don't know how likely those are coming in Season 2 and just planned for later dates. I really want to keep this to the most relevant things that we are almost sure are coming in the very near future. If some of these don't make it in Season 2, don't come at me. There is a chance that some of them will get delayed, like we have had other things delayed in the past, but I'm pretty excited. I know there hasn't been too much hype around Season 2 just yet, but making even this list and making this video, it's got me really excited. I hope you guys enjoy Season 2. I will be doing a long stream building into Season 2 on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. Check me out if you want to see. We're going to be watching all the new leaks and trailers as they come out. We're going to do a big long stream and then try out the new season and give you my thoughts. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you chuck a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.